Students, welcome to AKS IAS. As part of our lecture series, that is the mains Q&A series, that is the test and discussion series, we would be dealing with one other important news item that has been appearing in the news regarding the development of an indigenous vaccine. There have been several articles in the newspapers and various blogs regarding that there is a need for developing a new vaccine which is indigenous in nature so as to safeguard the country's interest. Based on this, we have framed a question, namely, greater investment in developing an indigenous vaccine is necessary to protect our people and safeguard the country's interest. Analyze is the key word over here. Okay, so what are the important areas of focus in this question? One is investment, okay, indigenous vaccine, protect the people, safeguard the country's interests. So these should be the focus areas how we try to decode this question. So what are the now let us get into the introduction, body and conclusion of this answer. So what are the indicative points that have to be remembered while we try to answer this kind of question? The first country to have full immunity to coronavirus will thus enjoy a tremendous economic and geopolitical advantage. So, the author over here says that whichever country comes up with a vaccine and develops immunity to coronavirus will thus enjoy a tremendous economic as well as geopolitical advantage, a once in a century window of opportunity till other countries catch up. So, this could be a very good introduction to start off with. The next point that you have to remember is China promised to declare the vaccine a global public good. Okay, thus, once it is available, it's China is hinting that it would share it with all the countries. This posturing is understandable given that Beijing is facing global criticism for having caused the pandemic. So, to get a cleaner image out of the present crisis and to overcome the blame that China has been the reason for the spread of coronavirus, China has promised that if at all they discover a vaccine for coronavirus, they will make it a global public good. Okay, that is, they will try to make it as affordable and accessible as possible and will not try to have any exclusive domain over it, and they will try to make it available to all the countries across the globe. The next point that you have to mention in such kind of answer could be being both an excludable rivalrous in economic terms, it is a private good, while universal, equitable, and affordable access to one is highly desirable. It is inevitable that supply will, at least in the initial stages, be much lower than the demand. So, whenever, if at all, this vaccine is released, there will definitely be a much lower supply commensurate with the demand. There would be higher demand and lesser supply of the vaccine. Okay, so thus how do we distribute the vaccine is a major challenge. Thus India is a world leader in vaccine manufacturing, but it lacks in vaccine development. While India has six companies or about 30 attempts in the race for a vaccine, the world's current frontrunners are China, USA, and European companies. Thus, pure manufacturing partnerships are desirable, but that won't secure India. If Beijing or Washington demand that their populations be served first, New Delhi will be put in a position where it would have to decide whether to allow contract obligations to prevail or provoke a powerful foreign government. So, the implication of all this is clear that India must accelerate efforts to develop an indigenous vaccine. We should be prepared to manufacture sufficient doses for our own population and export large volumes to the rest of the world. Thus, both the West and China are pouring billions of dollars in fast tracking vaccines. India's investment is a minuscule amount in comparison. Thus, an Atmanirbhar Bharat needs substantial public investment in research and development grants to both the private biotechnology firms and government research laboratories. So, in this whole scenario, the author is trying to say that India needs to put in more public resources, more public investment to development and research of such a vaccine so that we can tap this opportunity to distribute the vaccine for our own population and export it to different countries across the globe and thus have substantial socio-economic and geopolitical optimization in the near future. Thank you.